Hey everybody, in today's video we're going to finish up this lifeboat for the Flying Dutchman. I'm going to show you some instructions that are missing and hopefully figure out what to do. So if you want to see that and more, make sure you stay tuned. Hello BSC family and welcome back to my bench. So, yeah, like I was saying, in today's video, we're going to finish up this lifeboat here for the Flying Dutchman. And we're going to get some stuff cleaned up in here. Get this either stained or painted. We get the keel on it. We're going to get this last plank on here. We're going to get the interior painted or stained depending on how it all turns out, and we're going to figure out something that is shown in the instructions but not tell you how to do it. And let me show you here. We'll explain. So over here in the PDF, you can see like we've got all this framework here done. We did the fairing. We're going to finish up the planking here. We're going to cut the top off. We're going to fill that or file it down, you know, make it all flat and level. Then we got this top rail and a couple other things here, some planking, some boardwalk on the bottom. I got some trimming out to do to put these little pieces in right here, these T18s, put the bottoms in, right? We're going to put the top on, put the keel in. We've got these bench seats here that we got to put in. But then if you look, and I've looked around, I can't find nothing. So if you build this kit and you know where these instructions are, comment down below, because you know I'd like other people to know where they are. But all these little pieces right here on the top edge, right? Actually, even this little, looks like a wire or something here for your tiller. There's no instructions at all for this step, like this tiller piece, whatever this is. I mean, that might be rowboat handles, like your spots to put your oars kind of thing. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's just decoration or something. I don't know. But yeah, there's nothing on this. There's no how thick or wide the board are, how long any of them are. You know, there's nothing about it whatsoever, right? And yeah, like, I don't know. And like I said, this is all of T is just this rowboat. Now the only spot that has something different for the rowboat is the oars right here. All right, and that's like the last thing. But again, you see them here. You know, the tiller, there's no instructions whatsoever for those pieces, right? Then you get back in, then you mount the rowboat on, you know, lifeboat, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, you can see them all here still. So there is nothing for that. So we're going to have to figure that out, which isn't a big deal. I mean, we can kind of judge about how big they are, you know, once the benches are in. Kind of goes almost from the middle to the middle, you know, with a bit of a gap. You know, this one is just before, so if you put these in first and then judge the back one and judge the front one, looks like there's a bit of a gap right here at the bow. So, you know, we should be able to figure that out fairly easily, because we'll know what these boards are. Now my guess is they're probably the same thickness and width as these ones. So that's what we'll have to judge it by. So yeah, back over to the bench here. So yeah, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get this board on, and I'm going to taper my edge here so it fits nice against the bottom one. All right, we're going to put that on and get this wrapped around and bent where it should be, and we'll do both sides, and then we're going to flatten it all out because it should come down to yeah, right about here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but you can see that we're going to have to take it down to about this area right here, and then same thing on the back. And we'll make sure that it's flush with the top of this. All right, so that's what we're going to do there. So I'm going to get that done. I'll come back, show you where everything's at, and yeah, we'll go from there. So I shall see you in a few. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here for you first. Okay, so this is where I'm at now. Checking through some footage. Some of it got corrupted, so I'm going to review again and show you where I'm at, because, well, I obviously lost some of the footage. So as you can see here, I've got the bottom footboards in. I've got the upper rail done. I've got everything painted. I got it weathered a little bit. All right. I got the keel and stuff on. I think I'm going to do something with the tiller because to me that's not high enough, and I think it should be just a little bit higher. So I might make a block or something that goes on here, right, just to raise it up a little bit. Then I can do my wire. Now the side pieces, I profiled them the way I want them, right, and I weathered them a little bit. But I think what I'm going to do on the sides, now you can see some black lines here. Now what that is basically where my ropes will cross, right? Okay. Now, because there's no actual instructions on what to do here, I used a 1x3, I think it was. Let me see here. It should be, is this the same one? Yeah, I think that's the same one. Yeah, it's here. And I'm just going to double check it for you. So I got 1, 2, yeah, 1x3. Okay, is what I used. It seems to be proportionately right. It looks good to me. It doesn't seem to be too high, too thick, or anything like that. Now I've also got my bench seats in, and I weathered them up a little bit. Remember though, I got ahead of myself. Before you put your bench seats in, put your footboards in. I forgot to do mine, so it took a little bit of finagling to get them in there, and then of course glue them down. But I did get them glued in, so we got that. Now, according to the instructions, there should be little pieces cut off and stuck all along the side here, right? Okay, and I don't really like the way it looks. So, using the stuff that you would use to make these grates, right? You got these grates that you got to make, right? To use the stuff, because these things just interlock, okay, kind of like so, and that's what makes your grates, right? I find that I cut them to where I like them. And how do I do that? This way. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue a piece on there. And I'm still not even sure. I'm still debating. But using these pieces, right? You can see that they've got the notches. And I can pretty much get it to line up. Yeah, so one rope will come across right here, and then the next one's on an angle here to here, right? So if I line that up pretty much like that, right, I'll have one that'll cut right through the second hole, and then this one that's back here, all right, will cut through a hole there, and there's one that crosses right here. We'll pretty much cross in this last one here, leaving a bit of a gap, which, you know, in a way that would be probably where you would get in and out of the lifeboat, right? I wish I could zoom in a little closer. I may have to adjust my cameras. Let me double check here. So, yeah. But anyways, yeah, so you kind of see what I'm looking at here, right? Okay. So if I do that, that will give me everywhere I need to be able to tie this thing down, right? Doesn't look too bad, gives me a bit of an entrance. What I might do is pull a couple out and maybe drill in, and put in, make a wire loop using 22 gauge brass wire. You know, basically making these little wire loops on here. If it'll focus on it for you. These little wire loops right here, okay? You can easily make them, and if I make them, but maybe make them a little bit bigger for the end of the oars, right? So the oars would kind of go through them, and that's what you would use, right? Okay, so that's kind of what I'm thinking, maybe somewhere in an area where the ropes don't cross, because it'd be a nice spot here. But you could also put one here if you wanted, right? Because your ropes cross here and here, like so. And then one crosses here, like that. So they wouldn't interfere. And I think normally they're closer towards the rear of the boat. So if I were to cut a piece out right there, drill a hole, make one, put it in, I don't know. I've also thought of making little notches with the file everywhere a rope would cross, and then that would stop the rope from sliding anywhere. And so, but anyways, yeah, that's where we're at right now. I gotta wrap some rope or something around the end here, like they suggest, kind of like a grip or whatever. I think they're leaving the end open just a little bit so it'll come back, you know, probably 5 or 6 mil down the shaft of the paddle. So, other than that, I think that's where I'm going to leave this video. It's taken me a little longer than I wanted to do this, but I want to get this video out for you guys. So in the next video, I'll probably just touch up on what I've done and finished up on it. I got a little touching up on some painting to do. We'll get this put on here, put this back on the ship. Next video also, I think, just looking here, give me a second. Yes, in the next video, I've also started making this little back piece here. I don't know what you want to call it or whatever it's called, but there's this. There is a little piece that goes on top. It's a little metal piece, right? This will sit up on top like so. Now, I'm not sure if there's a mast or anything that goes on that, or a lookout or something, but I've got that. So that's ready to go on. I want to look into, oh yeah, I've also got these here. Again, I'll have to show them in the next video for you. But these are like a little leftover skeleton and bones for the railings that were made. And I'm thinking that I might actually just kind of put this right on the very front, on the bow of the boat. All right, like that, and then have these little bone pieces maybe come down from it, just to spruce it up just a little bit. You know, it is a pirate ship. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I've got that done. I've got a ship's wheel from a different kit that I had. This is brass, so I darkened it up. I'm looking at how I can make this, because the ship doesn't have a ship's wheel for some reason. I know it's possible that it just has a tiller on the inside, right? And then the captain yells down whichever way. But I want a ship's wheel on it. So I got that. And I found, again, from a different kit, this here is the like a water pump. And it's, again, made out of brass. So I've darkened it, aged it up a little bit. Right? And I'll show you that better in the next video. So I've got a spot for that. But also in the next video, I want to get the lanterns put on. I've already drilled out 2 of the holes. I got to drill 2 more for the support rods, right? We'll get those wired up and put on. And what else is there after that? Oh yeah, I've got 3 lights that I've got to make. Just inside here, where the captain's quarters sit. All right, I got to make a single light here and tie that in, and then 3 lights or 2 more lights down in the lower section. So we'll get that all done up and tied in. That's simple. That's just cutting a board, drill a hole, put your LED in it, wire them in. You've seen that done many times. And yeah, so I'm going to get that done. Now, I don't know if I'm actually going to glue on the captain's quarters section yet, like all of this. Right? I don't know if I'm going to glue all of this on yet, just so that I don't hit it and break something off, right? Then I'd have to go back and fix that. So I may leave this off for probably quite a while, because really this could be put on at the very end and not have to worry about it, because as far as I know, there is nothing that needs to be done to this that has to deal with any of the rigging. All right? No sails, no nothing that attaches to it, no dead eyes, no nothing. So if I can leave this off until the very end, I would like to, because, I mean, it does stick out quite a ways. If I can bring this over and show you here a bit. But it does stick out quite a ways, right? Now, putting it on, again, it doesn't interfere with any of the dead eyes coming on either side. So I could easily glue that on afterwards. All right, just like so. So nothing is going to get in the way. And then this piece here, like I said, just kind of sits up in here, like so. All right, so that will all get glued in, and then this piece is up here. Now I don't know if anything goes in that. We'll have to see a little later on in the instructions. So I want to get all of that done for the next video. Yeah, so we're getting really close here to starting all the rigging, things like that, and the mast. So that's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. I've also got well, they call for painting the sails black. I could do that, and of course you can do it yourself as well, but I have a very different idea, and I think you guys are going to like it. Either way, I know I'm going to like it. I think it's a pretty cool idea of what I'm going to do. But yeah, it's not going to be straight black, and I don't think they'll end up as stiff as if you were to paint it. It involves dye instead of paint, but it's not just one color. So with that there, we'll figure that out when time comes. But yeah, no matter what you're building, just have fun with it. Keep working at it, and have fun. You know, it's yours. Make it your way, right? Do it for you. It's your model. It's on your shelf. And until next time, later.